everybody, this is Bobby with Bobby Stamps, and I'm going to show you how I made this cute card. I love this card. When you make a card and you just fall in love with it, this is just one of those. This is going to be one of my favorite cards that I've made, and I hope you guys like it too. So we will go ahead and get started. I will tell you the supplies you're going to need to make the card. For the card base, we're going to use Sahara sand. Then we're going to use a piece of sweet sugar plum. This is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I've got a piece of DSP paper that's cut 3 3/4 by 5. And I've got a piece of soft sky, and this is cut at 2 inches by 5 inches. And then this piece is what we're going to use to cut out our balloon, and that comes from the Falling in Love DSP collection paper. And then we're going to cut the balloon out of the glimmer paper that's in the Celebration. I'm sorry it's no longer available, but I did want to let you know just in case you already have it. But I believe it sold out yesterday, maybe a couple of days ago, I can't remember now. But this is the only pack I got, so I'm going to kind of like probably be hoarding it just a little bit. So the ink we're going to use is Sahara sand, and if you want to do the edging around the side, the sponging around the side like I'm going to do, you're going to need a sponge for that, or a finger dauber. And then we're going to use the sweet sugar plum ink. We're going to use Fast Fuse, the fine tip glue pen. We're going to use Tombow glue. I actually don't think I use Tombow glue. I think it's just the Fast Fuse, but we'll see. And then the mini glue dots we're going to need. You're going to need your snail and some dimensionals. And then we're using the sweet sugar plum ruched ribbon. And then you're going to need some jewels, the basic pearls. The stamp set I'm going to use is Lift Me Up with the bundle Up and Away Thinlits. And so what I'm going to do first is we'll go ahead and bring in our big shot. So let me get all of this stuff that I had nicely set out so I would know exactly where it was when I needed it. But we'll just move it out of the way for right now, so we can bring in the big shot. I've already got all the Thinlit pieces out that I'm going to need. So we'll just bring in the big shot. Hope you guys can see that. Now I do have my magnetic plate on there just because the balloon is a little bit detailed, so I just wanted to make sure I got a good cut on that. So as you can see, I already used this once, but I already laid it on here to make sure. Gotta have it facing me to make sure I get it exactly the way I want it. Make sure we're going to get every piece cut out. So we'll go ahead and cut that out, and then I'm going to go ahead and, while we have that a little bit of room on here, we can cut out our couple of our clouds. I don't know if we can get all three off that one piece of paper, and I think we can, so I'm going to put these out of the way for right now. I need to grab one of my plates to cover that up. And I just want to make sure that nothing moved, especially our balloon. And this is very tight on turning that. It just makes it a little bit thicker when you're running it through there like that, and that's fine for that to pop like that. It's absolutely normal. So we will take that off. Go ahead and grab the clouds really quick. Just pop them out like so. And I just lay my Thinlits over to the side. My trash can is right beside me. I don't want to accidentally throw those away, so the pieces that I get cut out will just move to the side. I'm going to save that piece of glimmer paper because you never know what you could find to use those little scraps for. So now what I want to do with this, I like to flip mine over when I'm going to do this. just because I feel like it helps not get the glitter everywhere. But I love this brush for this. It just makes it so much faster than having to pop each one of them out individually. And I can sometimes tell better from the back side. And I'm going to use my piercing tool to just go ahead and pop the rest of those out. When I ran it through, when I made the card the first time, I ran it through like away and then back towards me, and that always helps it cut a little bit better. And I probably should have did it again this time, but I didn't, so. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I get them all, because every time after I get it glued down, I look and I'm like, oh yeah, there's one I forgot. Looks like we're good there though. So I'll move that out of the way. I'm going to clean this mat off really quick so I don't get a mess. Okay. Now I'm going to take the DSP, and you just want to make sure with this that your paper's going the right direction that you're going to want it, because these butterflies are directional. They're all flying in this direction. So when we're putting the finlets on for the balloon, we're just going to lay it on here like this. And then that one goes there. And that one there. And that one there. And that one there. And that one there. Just kind of make sure you have them lined up the way you want them. I think that looks good. And like I said, it's perfectly normal for it to make that popping sound. I know when I first started using it, I thought, oh my god, I'm breaking it. All these out. Move those over there out of the way. Put our piece of DSP over there. Whoops. And we can move the big shot out of the way now. Okay. So the next thing we'll do then is go ahead and score our base. And we'll go ahead and grab Sahara sand, and we'll just ink that up. And then you just want to go around the edge of the cardstock. And you can do this however dark or however light you want. I like mine pretty dark, so I tend to go over it a couple of times, because I really like this look. Okay. And you'll just turn it and do the bottom. I'm not going to do the back side. I always just do the front. I guess you probably could. I've never tried it to see what that looks like. Okay. So we have that part done. We'll go ahead and do the next piece. That's the sweet sugar plum. That will be our second layer. There's not a lot of stamping. It's just the sentiment and this edging, sponging around the edge of the cardstock. I just like it. It gives it a nice distressed look. And like I said, you can just go as heavy or as light as you choose on this look. I like it dark. And then we're going to also do the DSP piece. This one I did try not to get it too far in on the design, more just right around the edges. I don't know if you guys visited my blog today or Facebook page, but Stampin' Up! Has added 7 new items to the Celebration catalog that you can earn for free. For every $50 you spend, you choose a free item out of the Celebration catalog. So you can visit my blog. It's bobbystamps.blogspot.com. If you want to shop my store, you can do it there, or you can go directly to Stampin' Up! And there, to shop in my online store directly, it's bobbystamps.stampinup.net. Really easy to find. And when I post these videos on my blog, I always make sure that I do the supply list. So that way all you have to do is click, put it in your shopping cart. If you'd want to duplicate this card, I try to make sure I don't forget anything that I've used. And Celebration ends March 31st. So there's just a couple of weeks left for that. And then in a couple of months, we'll be releasing the new catalog. It's exciting times. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, we'll do that, and then I just have to do, I even did the clouds on this. I did a little bit lighter. You know, I don't want it near as much as I did around the cards, but we did want to, you do want that to, just around the perimeter. Made it pop just a little bit more than being just the solid white. It makes it blend in a little bit better because all the other pieces of cardstock had this done to them, so I thought it would just look nicer to keep everything cohesive and all the same. So we'll just gently rub around the edge of our clouds. This little small one's a little bit hard to maneuver. It's so tiny. But the good news is it doesn't take long to get it done. Okay. And we will just move this out of the way now, because we have all of that done. And then what we can do is grab our piece of glimmer paper. I'm going to grab my silicone mat here, and this is where the fine tip glue comes in. So you want to make sure that you have the right side that you want facing down. So this would be the way that I want to put this on, is like this. And so what I did with the fine tip glue is I just kind of started and just kind of weaved back and forth. Make sure that you get around your perimeter, right through in there for sure. And then I went down through the lines like this, because this is very strong glue. You know, you just need really a couple of dots here and there to get that to stick. And then if you have the fine tip glue pen, you want to make sure that you put your cap on right away so it doesn't dry out. And then we just start assembling the pieces. It's kind of gluey everywhere. Just make sure you're getting your pieces in order the way that they fit on the balloon. And it's just like a puzzle. They'll just pop right where they're supposed to go. And just keep layering it. last piece goes right there. If I can get it on there straight. Okay. Then I'm going to flip it over and then just kind of do one of these numbers with it to make sure it sticks. And then I'm just going to move that out of the way because then we can start putting our card together. That was the hardest part. Okay. So then we'll just make sure we have everything going the right direction. So this is our sweet sugar plum. I'm going to put it down first. Grab your piece of DSP. Make sure when you go to put this on, guys, that your butterflies are flying in the right direction because this is directional. They are going all in one direction. Okay. And then we need to, oops, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot the ribbon. Let's see if we can pop that up just enough to get the ribbon on there. And we can. Okay, so we should have put our, we actually should have stamped on our piece of soft sky first. Then we could have put that on there and then put the ribbon around there. I'm so sorry that I messed that up and didn't do it correctly. So we'll go ahead and stamp our sentiments so we can get it put on there correctly. I always get in such a hurry when I'm doing the videos because I don't want them to be long for you guys. And then that's when I make mistakes. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and peel that off there. And I'm just going to put some more snail on the back of there just to make sure it sticks good since I had to peel it off. Okay, now we're going to sneak that right there like so. Just make sure you have it centered down the middle. Okay, now we're back in business. Now we'll finish our ribbon. Just gonna tie it on there. I gotta turn it in the right direction or we'll be here all day for me trying to tie this ribbon. And you could just tie it in a knot if you want to. But I like a ribbon. You know what, I'm going to do it the way I did it the first time. I'm just going to tie my bow like this. I was going to try to see if I could tie it on there like that, but I think it's just easier to do it this way. And you don't want the bow too big because the sentiment is kind of like right there, so you don't want it to be bigger than, you know, interfering with that. So let's go ahead and I think maybe just a tad bit smaller, and then we'll cut our little ends off. And then we can put it on there and see what we think, if it needs to be bigger or smaller. And I think that that's going to be okay. I've got glue or something on my fingers. Okay, now let's put the little glue dot on the back. Just one should be enough. And we'll just adhere it right there in the corner. How cute's that? Okay. Then I like to lay the, you know, before I forget though, I do want to put that glue dot down. You could run a little bit of snail on your ribbon before you put it down to help just kind of like flatten it and hold it in place. Okay, and I liked it over that way. So I like to lay everything out before I glue it down. Put that there. And then we had this one kind of there. And that one right there like that, okay? So now, I had that glue dot under my fingernail, I think. Now what I think I'm gonna do is we'll pop this cloud out. Take a little bit of Tombow. You could use snail since this one's so big, but I just use Tombow. And we'll just put it right there like that. And then I like to kind of lay it back over where I had it. Take the smaller cloud. We're just going to do the same thing. If I can get my glue out, it's almost a new bottle. Shouldn't be doing that. Okay, let me get it turned around right. Just lay it right there. And then take the last one. And then we'll just put it kind of like that. And then you could use Tombow, you can use whatever you want for this, but I chose to use dimensionals because I wanted it popped up a bit. So I just kind of like followed the sides of the balloon. And then when I got down to the bottom to that piece right there, I just took an old set of dimensionals I have and just cut off one of the side pieces. Just make sure it's one of the smaller ones. You don't want it poking through. And then I like to just give them a push, make sure I got them on there right. And then peel the backings off each one of them. When I started making this card, the glimmer paper was Bermuda Bay, and so those were the colors I was going with. But in the DSP, the Falling in Love or Falling for You DSP paper, it was the Soft Sky, and I thought it just kind of blended better too. And then we'll just put the balloon back on there like that. Then we'll grab some of our pearls out. Now in the first card I did, I can pick it up, I did a strip of pearls here. You can do it however you want. You can cut those if you want to. You could just put random different sizes on there. Down in the corner I used these. They're not the tiniest, but I put one in one corner, one in the other corner, whoops, and then I put one up right underneath the Y and the O, and it just kind of made a neat triangle. I liked that. So let me see how many this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll try to cut this one right about there. And let's see if I can pick that up now. And then we'll just lay it down. I might have cut off too many. But we can kind of, if I can get it to lay down. Okay, we'll just cut off. Must have miscounted. I think I'm going to cut off 3. And I can just put those right back on my paper. If I can get them to let go of my scissors. And this is sticking to my finger. I hope the stickiness isn't going to wear off. And then just line it right up above your ribbon. And then push down on it. Give it a good go. And there you have it, guys. A cute card to send to someone. And this glue, the way that it's drying there, once that's dry, I have that adhesive remover, so I can just take that right off. That won't be a problem at all. So if you want to make this card, you can visit my blog. It's bobbystamps.blogspot.com. Thanks, guys.